Yeah. Let's see, you're going to be watching Steve Potoff and George Arndt. And you want to take note of George's instruments. I don't know what they're called, but he carries a lot of strings. Let's see, if you haven't been here before and you need to use the restroom, go out that red door you came in, up that green ramp, into the back room there, the lookout room. There's a restroom off there in the corner. That's full. Go down that hall on your left, make a bunch of lefts, you'll see another restroom off the kitchen. If you happen to see that restroom, you're free to use it. Anyway, please turn your cell phones off, leave the cameras on, give Steve all the promotion that you can. I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Let's see, next week will be Hosea Humphreys from Freeport, Michigan Country Music Hall of Famer. And he'll be here at 3 o'clock. I'm glad all you folks have took note of our summer hours we're on now. Start at 3. Let's see. Why don't you give? My wife's pointing, and I got to pay attention. Over on my right, there's a jar that for donations. If anybody wants to help Linda and I keep this going. We don't charge people to come in, watch, but we do this. We try to provide a place for the musicians to do their stuff and get them streamed and everything, and a nice place for people to come and watch. So appreciate all the help you can give us. Why don't you give Steve Potoff a nice round of applause.
You know, you're too kind. Say, did you hear about the Russian acrobat troupe that disbanded because the fella at the bottom of the human pyramid retired? Well, you see, they didn't have a leg to stand on anymore. Oh, hush. I'm going to do a song now about a railroad man. About a railroad man who thought he could stop progress. The news rang out across the wire, filtered through a billion liars. The whole world smelled like a burning tire the day John Henry died. We knew about their big machine that ran on corporate greed and steam. Bets on John were far between, mostly on the side. He put up one hell of a fight. His hair and hands turned snowy white. His hammer sounded through the night the day John Henry died. When John Henry was a little bitty baby, nobody taught him how to read. But he knew the perfect way to hold his hammer was the way the railroad baron held the deed. It did not matter if he won, if he died, or if he'd run. They changed the way his job was done. Labor costs were high. That big machine was cheap as hell. Only John could work so well, and they left him right where he fell the day John Henry died. John Henry was a steel-driving bastard, but John Henry was a bastard just the same. And an engine doesn't think about its daddy. An engine doesn't need to write its name. So fare thee well, John Henry Ford. We don't need your work no more. They don't make men like him no more. You should have seen the final score. He won the fight but lost the war the day John Henry died. John Henry was a steel-driving bastard, but John Henry was a bastard just the same. An engine doesn't think about its daddy. An engine doesn't need to write its name. And folks, you are in for a great show. I'd like to introduce my friend George. He plays all kinds of instruments, every style of music. He knows all sorts of stuff about any topic under the sun, and I am just over the moon that he said yes to do this show with me.
I'll pay you later, Steve. That's a great